Welcome, dear viewers, to Whatever You Need, the channel where glamour meets depth, where we uncover the unseen stories behind the faces that define modern celebrity. Before we dive into today's extraordinary story, make sure you subscribe, tap that like button, and don't forget to join our community by hitting the join button. Your support helps us continue to bring you the stories that sparkle with authenticity and emotion. Can. A name that evokes glittering lights, golden steps, and the kind of elegance that feels suspended in time. Every year, the French Riviera becomes the beating heart of global cinema, hosting artists who embody grace and greatness. Yet, this year, amid a sea of haute couture gowns and shimmering tuxedos, one man managed to transform simplicity into spectacle: Kagate Ulusoy, the Turkish star whose mere walk through the streets of sent social media into a frenzy unlike anything seen before. He didn't come with scandal or spectacle. He didn't arrive with an entourage or the dramatic flair that so many stars depend on. No, Kagate simply walked. And that walk, calm, confident, deliberate, ignited an inferno across digital platforms. Within hours, hashtags like #KagateInCannes and #AsrefTikAffect trended worldwide, as fans and journalists alike tried to articulate what exactly made this man's presence so magnetic. Cannes, after all, is accustomed to stars. From Hollywood icons to European legends, its red carpet has witnessed countless grand entrances. But this year, something subtle, something deeply human stole the spotlight. Kagate didn't merely attend, he embodied. He carried with him not just his charm, but the spirit of his character Esref Tek from the hit series Rüya, whose quiet intensity and mysterious depth had already captivated millions. It was as if the boundary between fiction and reality blurred for a moment, and Esref himself had arrived in Cannes to claim his place among legends. When he stepped out of the car, wearing a classic black suit, a crisp white shirt, and that unmistakable half-smile that always seems to conceal a secret, the air itself seemed to still. Cameras clicked, flashes erupted, but Kagate moved with the serenity of a man entirely at ease in his own story. Within minutes, X, formerly Twitter, was ablaze. One fan wrote, "This man doesn't walk, he shifts the atmosphere." Another joked, "Let me be the breeze that follows his footsteps." And perhaps the most poetic of them all declared, even Cannes itself wasn't ready for this brilliance. Now, here at Whatever You Need, we've seen countless celebrity moments, epic entrances, fashion statements, unforgettable interviews, but what Kagate achieved in Cannes was something rarer: presence without performance. It was charisma distilled to its purest form. People forget that true magnetism isn't about noise or spectacle, it's about energy, about how one occupies space. Kagate's energy that night was electric yet serene, commanding yet effortless. The legendary aura he projected wasn't crafted by stylists or PR experts, it was born of confidence, discipline, and authenticity. But perhaps the most telling moment of all didn't happen under the Cannes spotlights. It happened one quiet evening, away from the red carpet, on a cobblestone street bathed in golden sunlight. A few photographers, lucky enough to be wandering nearby, captured Kagate strolling alone, white shirt, sunglasses, a cup of coffee in hand. That was it. No luxury cars, no security, no dramatic lighting, just a man walking. Yet somehow, that image became the most shared photo of the festival. Comment sections overflowed. "How can someone make walking look like art?" wrote one user. "Even the coffee cup looks lucky," another added. Those images didn't just showcase a celebrity, they revealed a man who understands the unteachable, the elegance of ease. And speaking of elegance, we can't overlook Demet Özdemir, Kagate's dazzling co-star in Esref Rüya. Together they form a cinematic duo that blurs the line between screen chemistry and real-life magic. On the Cannes carpet, standing side by side, they seemed like a continuation of the series itself, a living tableau of passion and grace. Still, the fascination persisted. The duo became the subject of international curiosity, with fans speculating about their off-screen bond. But Kagate remained unflappable, offering his trademark humility to reporters. "It's an honor to be here with such a talented team," he said, brushing aside the noise with his characteristic calm. At this midpoint, dear viewers, a quick pause. If you're enjoying this story of cinematic grace and stardom, don't forget, you can support whatever you need by subscribing and hitting that join button. Your support keeps our lights shining, so we can continue to tell stories that capture not just fame, but humanity. Perhaps that's the secret behind his enduring appeal. In a world saturated with self-promotion, Kagate embodies restraint, a quality both rare and revolutionary in modern celebrity culture. His style mirrors this philosophy, timeless, minimal, powerful. The black suit and white shirt combination may seem ordinary, but on him, it became a statement, proof that charisma doesn't need decoration. As the festival continued, more journalists requested interviews than his management could accommodate. The French media dubbed him Le Charme Silencieux, the silent charm. The Italians called him La Calma Magnetica, magnetic calm. It was as though everyone who crossed his path felt compelled to define the indefinable. And through it all, Kagate remained himself, gracious, poised, and modest. When asked about his sudden international attention, he simply smiled and said, "It's not about me, it's about the story we tell through our work." That single sentence summarized his entire philosophy: art over ego, expression over exhibition. But the story doesn't end with Cannes. The global attention surrounding this event breathed new life into Esref Rüya, which is now poised to make its mark beyond Turkish borders. Distributors from Europe and the Middle East have shown intense interest, recognizing in the series something universal, the allure of emotional truth, elevated by the dynamic between Demet and Kagate. Their partnership, already adored by millions in Turkey, is now being celebrated internationally as one of the most compelling on-screen duos of recent years. And if the buzz from Cannes is any indication, Esref Rüya may soon stand alongside global sensations that have redefined how audiences perceive Turkish television. For Kagate, this moment marks a turning point, not just as an actor, but as a global ambassador of charisma. He's no longer simply a talented performer, he's a brand, a symbol of quiet power and refined masculinity. That iconic photograph from Cannes, him walking, coffee in hand, will likely become a defining image of his career, representing not only his allure but his authenticity. And now, dear friends, as we approach the close of this story, take a moment to reflect: what is true star power? Is it the loudest presence or the one that speaks without words? Maybe it's neither. Maybe, as Çağatay Ulusoy showed us in Cannes, real charisma is the art of being fully oneself in a world obsessed with pretending. So as the lights of Cannes fade and the echoes of applause dissolve into the night, one truth remains: the man who walked through that French dreamscape didn't just attend a festival. He left behind a legend. This has been Whatever You Need, your window into the moments where fame meets soul. If you loved this story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below. Tell us what you think of Kagate's timeless style, and which other stars you'd like us to spotlight next. And for those who wish to go the extra mile in supporting our journey, remember, the join button is your key to becoming part of our creative family. Until next time, keep your hearts open, your curiosity alive, and your eyes on the stars.